Welcome to this video on Jwara Nidana. As we all know, Jwara is one of the important diseases that we have to learn as a part of studying Roga Nidana in Ayurveda. Most of the experienced teachers and practitioners they say or claim that if we study Jwara properly, then it is like we have studied almost all the basic principles of disease pathogenesis and disease management as far as Ayurveda is concerned. That is why if you take most of the Ayurvedic textbooks, Jwara will be the first disease that is explained among the chapters. And we all know that if we compare with the modern understanding of the diseases now, inflammation forms one of the basic pathogenic process that underlies most of the diseases. And fever is one of the important manifestations of inflammation. So, as per this understanding, we can now comprehend that fever or jwara will be a manifestation in most of the diseases at one point or other in the timeline of the disease. But as far as the Ayurvedic understanding of jwara is concerned, we have to keep in mind that among the various diseases that may present with jwara as a clinical manifestation, not all can be considered under the purview of jwara, because if we have to consider the disease under the concept of jwara, then fever should be the predominant manifestation that is present in the given patient. So we can discuss that later on in the discussion about jwara. But to highlight the importance of the pratyatma lakshana, I have explained that fever should be the predominant manifestation in the patient to classify the given patient under the purview of jwara. There are several synonyms of jwara explained in various textbooks. So in Ashtahridaya, it is told like Jwaro Rogapati, Papma, Mrutti Rojo Ashano, Andagaha, Krodo, Dakshadhvaradhamsi, Rudrodhanayinodbhava. And in Charaka he says Jwaro Vigaro Rogascha, Vyadhiradanga Evacha, Ego Artho Nama Paryayar, Vividher Abhidhiyade. So Jwara, Vigara, Roga, Adanga, then Mrityu, Ojo Ashano, Andagaha. So that there are various names attributed to the disease Jwara, because again in Charaga he says right at the onset of or during the birth and death, Jwara will be present as a manifestation. So such importance is given to Jwara by various acharyas. What is a prakriti? So here the prakriti doesn't mean the deha prakriti or the constitution, but here the prakriti means the basic factors that contribute to the manifestation of jwara. So the prakriti of jwara is explained by Charaka as tasya prakriti uddishtaha dosha sharira manasaha dehinam nahi nirdosham jwaraha samupasevate. So that the prakriti of jwara is the sharirika and manasika doshas. So that means without these factors, jwara cannot manifest in the body. So that is why dehinam nahi nirdosham jwaraha samupasevate. Next is the adhisthana of jwara. So as far as the adhisthana of jwara is concerned, again Charaka explains that kevalam samanaskam cha jwaradhisthana muchyade shariram. So that the adhisthana or seat of jwara is sharira and manas. Next, what is the pratyatma lakshana of jwara? So the pratyatma lakshana means the lakshana which should be obviously present in the patient to label the patient as a jwara rogi. So jwara pratyatma lingam sandabo deha manasaha. So this reference is again from Charaka, Chikitsa 3rd chapter. ज्वरप्रत्यात्मिकं लिङ्गं सन्तापो देहमानसः. In case of Madhavadana, he says Svedavarodha Santapa Sarvanga Grahanam Tadha Yugapat Yatra Rogecha Sajjoro Vyabadishyade. So Madhavadana says a constellation of symptoms which includes Svedavarodha, absence of sweating, Santapa, temperature, and Sarvanga Graha, that means pain all over the body. Svedavarodha Santapa Sarvanga Grahanam Tada Yugapat Yatra Rogeja. So the Yugapat means together. When manifests in a patient, then it should be considered as Jwara. So let us see the elaboration of this Charaga's definition as Santabo Deha Manasaha. So how can we identify this Deha and Mana Santapa in a patient? So Deha Santapa is again elaborated by Charaga as Indriyanam cha Vaigrutyam Neyam Santapa Lakshanam. So that in Deha Santapa can be identified by Indriyanam cha Vaigrutyam. So abnormal functioning of the Indriyas. Through that we can understand Deha Santapa. Vaijityam Aradir Glanir Manasaha Tabalakshanam. So Vaijityam, Aradi and Glani indicates Manaha Santabaha. So Vaijityam means disinclination or disinterest in the activities. Aradi is Anavastida Chittatvam, that means restlessness, and a Glani is feeling of tiredness. So Vaijityam, Aradi, Glani, Manasa, Tabalakshana. So together Deha Santaba Lakshana is the Pratyatma Lakshana of Jwara. Next, let us look at the classification of Jwara. So there are various schemes of classifications explained by different authors. So this classification that you see in this slide is by Ashtanga Hridaya. Sajayade Ashtada Doshehi Pradhak Mishrei Samagadehi Aganduscha. So basically 8. So 1 each by each doshas, then 3 by Samsarga, and 7th by Sannibada, and 8th by Aganduja. But Charaka's classification is more interesting and it's more elaborate. So he says 2 types of classification in various schemes. So 2 types, Sharirika and Manasika. Again 2 types, Saumya and Agneya. Another 2 types, that is Andarvega and Bahirvega. Again Pragrita and Vaikrita, Sadhya and Asadhya, Sama and Nirama. And 5 types, that is 5 types of Vishama Jwara, that is Santata, Satata, Anyedyushka, Tridiyaga and Chaturtaga. And 8 types as per we have already discussed according to Vagbhata. So Vadaja, Pittaja, Kafaja, Vada Pittaja, Vada Kafaja, Pitta Kafaja, Sannipadaja and Aganduja. So why this classification is interesting is because whenever we make a Jwara diagnosis, we may have to add or identify each of these components in the patient, so that the diagnostic scheme will be a longer one. So that suppose we may diagnose in a patient Sharirika, Saumya, Bahirvega, Vaikrita, Sadhya, Sama, Vada, Pittaja, Jwara. So in that way we may have to use all these schemes of classification in a single patient, because each of these schemes indicate a particular attribute of the disease Jwara. So that is why this classification is very important for us to understand, and we can discuss each of these things in the coming slides. So the Aganduja is again subclassified into 4 types, that is Abhigataja, Abhishangaja, Abhishapaja and Abhijaraja. Now we have already seen the Prakriti of Jwara, that is Dosha, Sharira, Manasaha, Adhishtana against Sharira and Manas. Then the Pratyatma Lakshana, Jwara Pratyatmikam Lingam, Sandabo Deha Manase we have seen. And we have also seen the classification of Jwara. And now let us see the Nidana of Jwara. So if you go for Nidana, Susruta has given an elaborate explanation regarding the causative factors of Jwara. Mithyadi Yukteirapicha Snehadir Karmabhir Nranam Vividat Abhigadaacha Rogothanat Prapagataha Shramat Kshayat Ajirnacha Vishat Satmirtu Varyat Oshadi Pushpagandacha Shoga Nakshatra Pidaya अभिचार अभिशाभाभ्यां मनोभूताभिशङ्कया स्त्रीणाम् अपप्रजातानां प्रजातानां तथा हितैः स्तन्यावतरणे चैव ज्वरो दोषै प्रवर्तते. So he has beautifully explained almost all inclusive causative factors of a febrile condition. So first he starts with mithya and adiyoga of panchakarmas. So mithyadi yukteirapicha snehadir karma viduruna. So he starts saying about the iatrogenic causes of fever. So improper administration of the panchakarmas can cause fever or jwara. Vividhat abhigadat. Since he was a surgeon, he was more concerned with the trauma or causative factors related to trauma. So vividhat abhigadacha rogotanat. So due to the utthana of other rogas. So this again he says that jwara can be a manifestation of various other diseases. Prapakataha. So here we should take it practically as suppuration. So whenever there is an abscess formation or pus formation in the body, then there will be jwara. So prapakataha. Shramat, so excessive exhaustion. Then kshayat, dhadu kshayat. Ajirnat, so ajirna, we all know ajirna leads to ama, and this ama can lead to jwara. Vishat, so toxic exposures, toxin exposures, drug allergies, so everything will come under this concept of visha. Satmya, ritu viparya. So two things, satmya viparya, ritu viparya. So whenever we expose our body to something that is not satmya, or if there is a change in the seasons, ritu viparyat. Oshadi pushpa gandhacha, so that exposure to typical smells or of medicines. So Oshadi Pushpa Gandhacha Shogat. So that means it indicates a psychological cause. Nakshatra Pidaya. So Nakshatra Pida, we should take it something like those factors which could not have been identified in those era. So, but now we know that there are so many microbes that can cause fever. So Nakshatra Pidaya. Abhijara, Abhishabhabhyam. So all these things will come under this Aganduja category. So we have to consider it under the microbial theory itself in the current era. Manobodhabhishangya, again the same thing. Strinam apaprajadanam, so complicated delivery. So that is Strinam apaprajadanam. Prajadanam tada hidehi. So that even if the delivery was normal, but the post-delivery management of the female, if it is improper, so then also it can lead to fever. Stanyavatarane cheva. So in some cases, lactation, the first phases of lactation can also induce fever. That is stanyavatarane cheva jwaro doshe pravartate. And if you look at the current understanding, I think that most of the factors explained there are included in this beautiful reference given by Susruta in Uttara Tantra. So after the Nidana, let us look at the Samprapti of Jwara. So what is the Samprapti? So after the Pratyatma Lakshana, after the classification, after the Nidana, let us look at the Samprapti. So Samprapti means the pathogenesis of fever. Mityahara viharabhyam dosha hi amashe asrayaha bahirnirasya koshtagnim jwaradaha syu rasanugaha. So this reference is from Madhava Nidana. So he says, due to the mithya ahara and vihara, dosha take seat in the amasya asrayaha. So if the doshas gets vitiated in the amasya, there will be ama formation. So along with the ama, this koshtagni will be expelled outside so that it gets mixed with rasa and circulates all over the body, causing the temperature. So this is the basic understanding in Ayurveda as far as Jwara Samprapti is concerned. Let us look this into detail. So this pathogenesis has been elaborated by Ashtanga Hridaya. Even in Charaka it has been elaborated, but this reference is from Ashtanga Hridaya. Mala tatra swaiswair dushta pradushanaihi amashyam pravishya amanugamya vidhaya cha srotamsi paktistana cha nirasya jwalanam bahi sahatenabhisarpanda tapanda sagalam vabuhu kurvando gatramatyushnam jwaram nirvartayandite srodo vibandhat prayena tadaha swedo na jayate. So he says, Malaha Swai Swair Dushta Pradushanehi. So the doshas which are vitiated by their own etiological factors enters into the amashya and gets mixed with the ama vidhaya cha srodams and obstructs the srodas there, so that jwalanam paktistanat nirasya bahi or bahi nirasya, so that it causes expulsion of this agni from the amashya outwards, and this agni gets circulated along with the dosha and ama through the rasadhatu all over the body. Sakalam vabu kurvando gatramatyushnam, so that it causes raised temperature all over the body. And because of the excessive srodharodha that is caused by the ama, the patient will not have sweating or svedo na jayade. So if you compare with the modern pathogenesis, what happens? We know that there is a regulatory center for temperature in the brain, and whenever the thermoregulatory set point is raised due to some inflammatory mediators, the body will try to achieve the higher temperature. So in order to achieve the higher temperature, there are 2 or 3 mechanisms that the body can do. First thing is, the body will try to conserve heat by producing or stimulating peripheral vasoconstriction in order to reduce the peripheral circulation so that it can conserve heat. Second thing is, the body can increase the metabolic process to increase heat generation. And third thing, the patient can get what you call as rigors, so that the increased muscle contractions or activity can produce heat. So that is why, due to the peripheral vasoconstriction, the patient will not have sweating in the initial phases of the fever. But due to some drug action or some other factors that brings down the thermoregulatory set point, then body has to lose the heat. So later on, there will be peripheral vasodilatation and increased sweating occurs, so that the fever goes off. So that is why this Rodho Vibandha. So Ayurveda understands this based on its own pathogenesis, whereas modern explains that based on its own principles. But the understanding is almost same, so that the clinical features are explained in the similar ways. So let us look at this concept in a pictorial representation. So whenever we think about the concept of Koshta and Shakha, a similar picture should come into our mind. So that Koshta means something like a picture, Kumbhaha Koshaha. So that it's a what you call a big picture where something is put in, processed, and there will be a product and byproducts. So whenever the food is taken, the Agni acts on the food, and the rasa is formed, which is absorbed into the rasa dhatu, so that it nourishes all the other dhatus. So you can see rasa, rakta, mamsa, meda, asti, majja and shukra, and tok also, because we consider tok as a component of rasa or poshaka amsha of rasa dhatu. So this is the normal physiology, and you can see that this is koshta and this is shakha, and anything in between is called as the madhyama roga marga. So this is the usual process. So what happens when there is some nidana seva on the part of the patient, so that there is ama formation. So whenever there is ama formation, what happens? So this ama can lead to the srodhorodha in the koshta, so that this agni gets obstructed. So when the agni gets obstructed, the agni activity gets displaced, so that it enters into the rasadhatu along with the dosha and ama, and this agni circulates all over the body, leading to tapa. So that is why tapantaha sagalam babu is told. So again I will once more clarify, so that whenever there is ama formation, this ama can cause rodha in the koshta, leading to displacement of this agni. So that is agni enters into the rasadhatu and circulates all over the body, leading to fever. In modern parlance, you can just think that there is a shift in the metabolic process. so that there is the body needs to produce more heat, so that there is a shift in the metabolic process leading to jwara or temperature. So there is a concept of Langhana in Ayurveda, where Langhana is the one of the important treatment of jwara. So in Langhana, we ask the patient to cut on the food, so that whenever there is Langhana happens, the Agni will get more time to digest whatever is left of in the ama, in the koshta. So when the ama goes off, then the Agni can act in its normal what you call pathway, so that this circulating Agni will come back to the koshta and the jwara goes off. So that is one of the important treatment of jwara, that is Langhana. So this is how you can understand the pathogenesis of jwara. Next, after the Samprapti, let us look at the Pura Rupa or premonitory signs of jwara. So this reference is from again Ashtanga Hridaya. Tasya Pragrupam Alasyam Aradir Gatra Gauravam Asya Vairasyam Aruji Jrimba Sasrakulakshita Angamardo Avipago Alpa Pranada Bahunidrada Romaharsho Vinamanam Pindigo Dveshtanam Klamaha Hidobadeseshu Akshantihi Preetiramalapadushane Dveshaha Swadushu Bhaksheshu Tada Baleshu Tridbrisham Shabda Agni Shida Vada Ambu Chaya Ushneshu Animittadaha Ichaha Dveshascha Tadanu Jwarasya Vyaktada Bhavet. So these premonitory signs we can classify into Sharirika and Manasika Lakshanas. So that Sharirika Lakshanas include Alasya or laziness, Aradi. Again, Aradi, actually Aradi and Alasya is Manasika rather than Sharirika, but still a feeling of laziness, restlessness, Gatra Gauravam, heaviness of the body, Asya Vairasyam, distaste in the mouth, then Aruji, disinclination to food intake, Jrumba, excessive yawning, Sasra Agula Akshita, so that reddish eyes, Angamar, the body pain, Avipago, indigestion, Alpa Pranada, that means the patient has lack of energy to do any activities, Bahu Nidrada, sleepy, the patient feels sleepy, Roma Harsho, horripilations, Vinamanam, Vinamanam here is bending of the body part. This we cannot get in every fevers, but you know that in some of the fevers like dengue, etc., this typical bending of the body is told. Chikungunya is another example where bending of the body can happen. Again, whenever the central nervous system is affected due to the inflammatory response or infections, this vinamanam or bending of the body can happen. The terms in neurology includes opisthottonus or emprosthotonus. Pindigodveshna is a crampy sensation in the calf muscles. And klama, again, it's tiredness. Hidopadesheshu akshantihi. So that the patient, these are the psychological manifestations. So the patient will not be tolerant to advice. Hidopadesheshu akshantihi. Preeti amla padushane. So that the patient will have inclination towards or desire towards ushna gunarasas, that is amla, lavana and kadu. Dveshaha swadushu bhaksheshu. So this usually happens because of the excessive ama. We know that ama has some similarity towards the kapha. So madhura increases kapha. So patient will have disinclination to that. So this we have studied as a in Sutrasthana in case of chaya, pragopa and prashama of doshas. So that in case of pragopa there will be disinclination to the same rasas. So that is why the same thing here also. There is preeti amla padushane dveshaha swadushu bhaksheshu tada baleshu tridbrisham. So that this is actually a what you call as something that indicates the psychological status of the patient. Usually we don't hate kids, but in a patient who is going into a febrile response, even they may not be able to tolerate kids around them. Shabda, Agni, Shida, Vada, Ambu, Chaya, Ushneshu, Animittadaha, Ichadvesha. So the patient will have fluctuating inclination and disinclination towards sound, heat, cold, or water, or shade, like that, so that there is fluctuation in the desire towards all these factors. So these are the premonitory signs or Purarupa of Jwara. Again, the same thing is explained in a different way in Madhava Nidana. Sramo Aradir Vivarnatvam, Vairasyam Naina Plavaha, Icha Dvesho Muhuschabi, Sida Vadadabadishu, Drimbanga Mardo Guruda, Romaharsho Arujistamaha, Apraharshascha Shidamcha, Bhavandi Utpatsyadi Jware. So the last two lines are very important. Samanyado, there is a spelling mistake here. This is Samanyado Visheshatu Drimbatyartam Samiranat Pittat Nayanyor Daha Kafadanna Rujir Bhavet. So if you all remember, in the classification of Pururupa, there are two types, Samanya Pururupa and Vishishta Pururupa. So Samanya Pururupa indicates occurrence of a Vyadhi, whereas Vishishta Pururupa will give you an idea about which dosha predominance that Vyadhi is going to be. So this is a typical reference, an example of Samanya and Vishishta Pururupa, and this is only found in case of Jwara. So this reference is important in that context. So Samanya though, that means the above Pururupas are Samanya Pururupas, Vishesha Pururupas, Jrimbatyartam Samirana. So if the patient is going to get Vata predominant Jwara, then there will be excessive Jrimba. In case of Pitta predominant Jwara, there will be excessive Daha or Nayana or Daha, burning sensation in the eyes, and in case of Kafaja Jwara, there will be excessive Aruji. So this is the concept of Samanya Pururupa and Vishishta Pururupa. Next, let us go into each of the Doshaja Jwaras. So these are the Vadaja Jwara Lakshanas explained in Ashtanga Hridaya. Agama, Abagama Kshoba, Mrududa, Vedanoshmana, Vaishamyam Tatra Tatrange, Tastasyur Vedanaschala, Padayo Suptada Stamba, Pindigo Dveshtanam Shramaha, Vishlesha Iva Sandhina, Sada Urvo Kadigraha, Prishtam Kshodham Ivapnodi, Nishpidiyada Ivodaram, Chindyada Iva Astini, Parshogani Visheshadaha, Hridayasya Grahastodaha, Prajaneneva Vakshasaha, Skandayor Madhanam, Bahor Bheda, Pidana Mamsayoho, Asaktir Bhakshane Hannur, Jrimbanam, Karnayoho Swanaha, Nistoda Shangayor, Murdhini Vedana, Virasasyada, Kashayasyatva Madhava, Malana Apravartanam, Duksharuna Twag Asya Akshi Nagha Mutra Purishata, Prasega Arojaga Ashraddha, Avipaga Sweda Jagaraha, Kanthoshta Shosha Strit, Shushkau Chardikaso Vishadida, Harsho Romanga Dandeshu, Vebhadu Kshavador Graha, Brahma Pralabo Gharmecha, Vinamascha Anilajware. So this is a bit elaborate or extensive, but these features are very important to identify the predominant dosha in a given patient. So let us see what are these features. So first he says about the occurrence or onset of the fever. Agama, Apagama, Kshoba, Mrududa, Vedanoshmana, Vaishamyam. So as you know, Vada is highly chala. So there is total irregularity or chaos in the onset, the what you call the course of the illness as well as the relief from the fever. So there is an irregularity. That is why Agama, Apagama, Kshoba, Mrududa, Vedana. So there is irregularity or fluctuation in all these factors of the Jwara. Then he says about different types of pain. So starting from the Pada till the Shiras, he says about different types of pain in each of the body parts. Because we know pain is synonymous with Vada in our body. So he says about different types of pain. So I am not going to explain that in detail. You can go through all these pains. So Padayoho Suptada, Stambaha, Pindigo Dveshtanam, then Vishlesha Iva Sandhinam, Urusataha, Kadigraha, Prishtam, Kshodham Ivapana. So like the different types of pain he explains. Then he says about inability of the patient to chew the food because of the pain in the temporomandibular joint. Karneoswana is tinnitus or abnormal sound in the ear. Then Nistoda Shankya or pain in the temple region. Murdhini Vedana, the different types of headache. Virasasyada, so there is a distaste in the mouth. Kashaya Asyatvam, Kashaya taste in the mouth. Malanam apravartanam. So there is obstruction to the urine and stools. Then he says about a color tinge in the skin and other body parts. Ruksha Aruna of or Ruksha Aruna Varna of Twak, Asya, Akshi, Nagha, Mutra, Purisha. And he says Prasega, excessive salivation, Arojaga, distaste again, or Arojaga is nothing but disinclination to food intake. Ashraddha is again a type of what you call disinclination to food intake. Avipaka, there is indigestion. Asweda, there is no sweda. And Jagaraha, the patient does not have proper sleep. And there is Shosha of Kantha and Oshta. Then there is Shushka Chardi and Shushka Kasa. That means even if the patient has cough, it is not productive, dry cough, and the patient will have bouts of vomiting, but the vomitus will be very, very less. Vishadida, again, that is a psychological phenomenon where the patient feels depressive. Then Harsho Romanga Dandeshu. So Roma Harsha, Anga Harsha, and Danda Harsha. Vebhadu is nothing but rigors or what you call trembling. Kshavador Grahaha. So the patient has Graha of Kshavadu. Then Brahma, that is vertigo or giddiness. Pralabo, excessive talk. Gharmecha, the patient has desire for warmth. Vinamaha, again we have seen this Vinama in the Pururupa. So Vinama is bending of the body. So Anila Jware. So these are the features that when you find in a patient, you have to identify that it is a Vada predominant fever. Next is Pittaja. Yugabat Vyaptirangana, Pralaba Kaduvaktrata, Nasa Asyapaga, Shidecha, Brahmo, Murcha, Mado Aradihi, Vitsramsaha, Pittavamanam, Rektashtivanam Amlagaha, Rektakododgamaha, Pidaharidatvam Togadishu, Svedo, Nishwasa Vaigandyam, Aditrishnaja Pittaje. So here he says Yugabat Vyaptiranganam. So the spread of the fever is very fast. That means the onset is very fast. Then there is Pralaba, Katu Vaktra, the Katu taste in the mouth. Nasa Asyapagaha. So there is ulcerations in the nostrils as well as in the mouth or oral cavity. Shidhecha. So the patient desires for cold atmosphere. Brahmo, again giddiness. Murcha, loss of consciousness. Madho, again another what you call this Mada and Murcha are related because they are two different phases of what you call abnormal consciousness. So Mada and Murcha. Aradis, again we know restlessness. Vitsramsaha. So in Vadaja we have seen constipation, but here it is Vitsramsaha. There is loose stools. Pitta Vamanam, so that there is vomiting up of Pitta. Rektashtivanam, so there is coughing up of blood. Rektashtivan or spitting of blood. Amlagaha, there is a burning sensation in the chest. Rektakodhodgamaha, so there is a rashes, reddish skin rashes all over the skin. Pida Haridatvam, so the color tinge of Pida and Harida, that is greenish color and yellowish color in the Togadishu, that means Tog, Asya, Akshi, Naga, etc. Swedo, so that means usually in Jwara the Sweda will be absent as we have discussed earlier, but in case of Pitta there will be Sweda. Nishwasa Vaigandhyam, so the breath of the patient will have some sort of foul smell. Adi Trishna, so excessive Trishna. So these are the features when present in a patient. We have to identify that there is Pitta predominance in the fever. Next is Kafaja. Visheshad Arujir Jadyam, Srodhorodho Alpavegata, Prasego Mughamaduryam, Hrilleba Shwasa Pinasaha, Hrillasa Chardanam Kasa, Stamba Shwaityam Togadishu, Angeshu Shida Pidiga, Tandrodarda Kafodbhave. So all these references are again from Ashtanga Hridaya, Nidhanasthana. Visheshad Aruji. Why he said Visheshad? Because already in Jwara, even in Pururupa and Rupa, there is Aruji. Visheshad Aruji means there is excessive Aruji, because we know Aruji is one of the typical features caused by Kapha. So Visheshat Arujir Jadyam, again this Jadada of the body. Srodhorodho, again Visheshat Srodhorodho, already there is Srodhorodha, but here it is Visheshat Srodhorodha because Ama and Kapha together they come and cause excessive Srodhorodha. Alpavegada, so the speed of manifestation, and the speed with which it goes through different phases like Pachyamana and Pakwa Jwara is very slow. So that is Alpa Vegada. Prasego, excessive salivation. Mukha Madhuryam. In Vadaja we have seen Kashaya Asyatvam. In Pittaja we have seen Kaduka Asyata. And in Kafaja now we get Madhura Asyata. Mukha Madhuryam. Hrillebaha. So the patient feels as if there is some coating on the Hridaya Pradesha. Shwasa Pinasaha. There is dyspnea and there is running nose. Hrillasaha. Hrillasa is nothing but a nauseating feel. Chardhanam, there is vomiting. Kasaha, cough. Stamba of the body. Shwaityam togadishu, so whitish tinge in the tok, asya, akshi, netra, etc. Angeshu Shita Pidaga. In case of Pittaja, we have seen Rekta Kododgamaha. But in case of Kafaja, there is Shita Pidaga or skin eruptions in all over the body. Tandra, again, this is a state of delirium. Tandra. Udardaha, again, another type of skin lesion. Kaphodbhave. So these features, when present in a patient, we have to identify that the patient has kapha predominance. So let us see practically how we can interpret these things. So there is no typical disease as that this is Vata Jwara, this is Pitta Jwara, this is Kapha Jwara. It is not like that. We have to identify this in a clinical sense. So whenever a patient comes to you with Jwara as a predominant manifestation, then you assess which of these lakshanas are present in the patient. Accordingly, you identify that at the given stage or at the given instance, this is the dosha predominance of the Jwara in the patient. It is not like viral fevers or Vadaja Jwaras or bacterial fevers or Pitta Jwara. It is not like that. In any cause or any fever, these dosha lakshanas can vary depending upon the different disease phases or depending upon the influence of the ahara or the ritu or time of the day. These features can vary. So it is highly improper to exactly do a one-on-one correlation of different modern febrile conditions to that of Vadaja, Pittaja, Kaphaja, Jwara. Instead of that, you try to learn these lakshanas and assess these lakshanas in the patient and identify at the given stage or at the given time or at the given point of time what is the dosha predominance in the given patient. So if you see irregular patterns of fever, that means irregular patterns of onset and different types of pain all over the body, dry throat and mouth, tinnitus, shushka chardi, irrelevant talk, mala apravartana, kashaya rasa in the mouth, desire for warmth, then you identify that there is Vata predominance. If there is sudden rise and fast spreading of the fever, excessive thirst, oral and other mucosal ulcerations, skin eruptions like petechiae, purpura, kadurasa in the mouth, foul smelling breath, then you identify that there is Pitta predominance. Excessive aruji, Srodhorodha, Alpa Vegata, relatively less temperature compared to the other two fevers, Madhura Rasa in the mouth, excessive salivation, cough, rhinorrhea, Shwasa, Chardi, articular rashes, then you consider that there is Kaphaja. Most of the times, these will not be an independent manifestations. There will be mix of features in the patient. So we may have to identify some patients as having Vata Pitta predominance, some patients as Pitta Kapha predominance, like that. But always you look for the number of lakshanas and then you identify which is the predominant dosha. Next is regarding the Ubhashaya and Anubhashaya. So he says, Kale yathasvam sarvesham pravrittir vriddhirevava. So each dosha predominant fevers can have their onset in their respective time periods. That means Kapha Jwara can have an onset in the Vasanta Rudu, or the Kaphaja fever will start in the morning time because that is a Kapha Kala, like that. So yadha swam sarvesha pravrittir vriddhirevava. So either the pravritti or the vriddhi occurs in the their own respective time periods. Nidanokta anubhashayo. So whatever nidana has been told for Jwara or particular doshas, they will act as the anubhashaya or that factors which increase the Jwara. Viparido upashayida. So those factors which are opposite to the nidanas will function as the ubhashaya for the fever. Then he has also told some of the lakshanas, particularly that can be found in case of Dondwaja fevers. So Vada Pittaja, Vada Kafaja and Kapha Pittaja fevers. So in case of Vada Pittaja, he says Shirovarti Murcha, Vamidaha Moha, Kandhasya Shosha, Aradi Parva Bhedaha, Unnidrada, Trid Brahmaroma Harsha, Jrimbadi Vaktamcha, Chalatsa Pittat. In case of Vada Kafaja, Tabahani, Aruji, Parva Shiroruk, Pinasa Shwasana Kasa Vibandhaha, Shidajadya Timira Brahma Tandraha, Shleshma Vada Janida Jwaralingam. In Kapha Pitaja, Shida Stamba Sweda Daha Avyavastha, Trishna Kasa Shleshma Pitta Pravritti, Mohastandra Lipta Tiktasyada Cha Nayam Rubam Shleshma Pitta Jwarasya. So this you can refer the textbook and make a list of these symptoms and you can identify that in the patients. Next is the Samasannibhada Jwara. So when we come to Sannibhada Jwara, again it's a very elaborate topic, but I am going to only describe the Samasannibhada Jwara here. So in case of Sannibhada Jwara, there can be different permutations and combinations. So actually there are 13 types of Sannibhada Jwara explained in various textbooks based on the different permutations and combination of all these three doshas. So that Vada can be the most strong one, Pitta less strong, and Kapha too weak. So like that, different combinations. Kapha very strong, Pitta in the Madhyama, and Vada in the Avara. So like that, there are various permutations and combinations for this Sannibhada Jwara. So basically, there are 13 types. And if you go through Legutrace, even they have put particular names like Brahmari, etc. for each of these Sannibhada Jwaras. But I am not going into that detail in this because this is a basic lecture for a basic understanding of Jwara. So here it is a Samasannibhada Jwara where all these three doshas are equally vitiated. So here the lakshanas are again from Ashtanga Hridaya. Sarvajo lakshanai sarver daho atracha muhurmuhu tadvat shidam mahanidra diva jagaranam nishi sadava neivava nidra mahasvedo adineivava gida nartana hasyadi vigrideha pravartanam sasruni kalushe rakte Bhugne Lulita Pakshmani, Akshini Pindiga Parsha, Murdha Parvasti Ruk Brahmaha, Saswano Sarujo Karno, Kandha Shuge Rivajitaha, Paridagda Gara Jihva, Guru Srastanga Sandita, Rektapitta Kafashtivo, Lolanam Shiraso Adiruk, Kothanam Shavaraktanam, Mandalanam Chadarshanam, Hridvyada Malasamsangha, Pravrittirva Alpasho Adiva, Snigdasyada Balabramshaha, Surasada Pralabida, Doshapaga Chiratandra, Pradadam Kandagojanam, Sannibadam Abhinyasam, Tam Bruyacha Hridaujasam. So here, because all these three doshas are equally vitiated, the patient will have severe clinical manifestations. So if we speak about Sannibhada Jwara, most of these complicated viral fevers like dengue, chikungunya, or even the COVID-19 that recently started reporting, and even in case of severe infective fevers like typhoid, etc., sometimes they can manifest as a Samasannibhada Jwara. So here he says, Daho Atracha Muhurmuhu. Again, there is an irregularity as we have seen in Vada Jwara. There is an irregularity. So there is repeated febrile episodes in the patient. So Muhurmuhu Daha and Muhurmuhu Shida. That is why Tadvat Shidam. Then he says paradoxical symptoms. That means either the patient will have Mahanidra and Diva Jagaranam Nishi. So Mahanidra Diva. So he has Mahanidra in the Diva and Jagaranam Nishi. Or he has Sadava Neivava Nidra. Either the patient doesn't sleep at all or the patient sleeps full time, the patient will have sleep. Mahasvedo Adineivava. So either the patient has excessive or profuse sweating or there is no sweating at all. So these are some paradoxical symptoms that can happen in the patient. Gida Nartana Hasyadi Vigrideha Pravartanam. Because of the delirious stage, the patient may dance or the patient may have other what you call abnormal body posturings or movements. So this we should not take it as a literal sense like a nartana or dancing. We know that there are some fevers that can produce coriform movements or chorea in the body. For example, if you take rheumatic fever, there is a rheumatic chorea explained. So like this, some coriform movements can happen. So usually this happens whenever the central nervous system is involved in some or other infective or inflammatory mechanisms. So these Gita, Nartana, Hasyadi, etc. can happen as involuntary movements because either the patient is in a stage of delirium or the patient's nervous system is affected due to the inflammatory process. Shasruni Kalushe Rekte, Bhugne Lulita Pakshma. So these there will be conjunctival injection. So that is the eyes are very much what you call reddish and highly inflamed. And Akshini. So these are the features in the Akshini. Then there is Pindiga, Parshva, Murda, Parva, Asti, Ruk. So there is pain in the Pindiga or the calf region, Parshva, Murdha, and Parva, Asti. That means in the joints and bone there will be severe pain. Saswanu, Sarujav, Karno. So there is tinnitus. Then Kandha, Shuge, Rivajida. The patient feels that his throat is filled with the thorns. So that is there is pricking or irritation in the throat area. Paridagda, Gara, Jihva, Guru, Srastanga, Sandhita. So the Jihva will be Paridagda and Gara. So that as if the tongue looks like cooked tongue. And there is Gara or rough tongue. So there are a lot of tongue manifestations fever told, like a strawberry tongue in case of a bacterial infection. So scarlet fever, you can say strawberry tongue. So like that, there are various tongue manifestations as well. So that is Paridagda, Gara, Jihva. Guru Srastanga Sandhi, the heaviness in the Sandhi, Anga and Sandhis. Srasta means the patient feels as if it is loosened. Rekta Pitta Kafashtivo, so that the patient may cough up blood or Pitta, etc. Lolanam or Lotanam, in some texts it is Lotanam. Siraso Lotanam, so that the patient shakes his head in distress. Then again skin manifestations. Kotanam, Shavaraktanam, Mandalanam, Chadarshanam. Hridvyada, there is pain in the chest. Malasamsangaha. Pravrittirva. So either there is excessive pravritti of the malas or there is obstruction of the malas. Or alpasho, there is alpasha pravritti of malas. Snigdhasyada balabramshaha. So there is snigdhasyada, then there is balabramshaha. So that the patient will have loss of strength. Swarasadaha, so weak voice. Pralapita, irrelevant talk. Doshapaga chiraha. So doshapaga happens very late. Tandra, delirium. Pradatam kandhagojanam. The patient may mourn or the patient may produce a mourning sound due to the distress. Sannibadam, abhinyasam. So the Vagbhata calls this samasannibada as abhinyasa or hridaujasa. So two terms he uses to identify samasannibada, abhinyasa jara or hridaujasam, because it totally takes out the ojas in the body. So that is why hridaujasam is explained. If you look into Susruta, he says another abhinyasa jara there, but here in Bhagavata he calls Sannibha jara as abhinyasa jara. Then there are various variants of Sannibha jara explained. You can go and refer the textbook. I am not going to deal in detail, but just for your information, I am just mentioning it here. Like there is a Dahadi jara and Shidadi jara concept explained in Ashtanga Hridaya. Anyatcha Sannibhadoto Yatra Pittam Pradakstidam Toji Koshte Adava Daham Vidadadi Purovanava. So depending upon whether the Vada and Pitta is in the Koshta or Shaga, it produces Daha in that area at first, followed by the Kapha predominance leading to Shidavastha. So that is Dahadi and Shidadi Jwaras. You may go and refer the Ashtanga Hridaya for more details. Next is the Asadhya Lakshana of Sannibha Jwara. So what are the Lakshanas when present in the patient? We should consider that it is an Asadhya Jwara. Doshe Vibadhe, Nashte Agnau, Sarva Sambhurna Lakshanaha, Asadhyaha. So all these Lakshanas that are has been explained, it is no rule that all these Lakshanas should be simultaneously present in a patient. Only few of the Lakshanas may be present. But if all the Lakshanas are present, then we have to consider that such a Sannibha Jwara will be Asadhya. Doshe Vibadde. So here Vibadda dosha means the dosha paga is not happening. So Sama dosha is continuously persisting in the body. That is Doshe Vibadde. Nashte Agno. So that totally the Agni activity is lost in the body. Sarva Sambhurna Lakshana Asadhya. Anyada Krichro. Otherwise, basically, Sannibal Juras are Krichra Sadhya. Bhavet Vaigalyado Abhiva. Even if we were able to treat the patients, then there can be complications or permanent disabilities in the patient. So we know that most of these fevers, for example, if you have a patient with a viral meningitis, sometimes post meningitis sequelae will be there, so that the patient may lose some of the neurological functions. So that is Vaigalyado Abhiva. So that is the reference from Charaka Samhita. In Ashtanga Hridaya, he says, Saptame Divase Prapte. There is a spelling mistake here. It is Saptame Divase Prapte. Deshame Dwadashe Abhiva. Punarghorataro Bhutva. Prasamam Yadi Handiva. So he says some Kala Maryadas or some specific number of days. 7 days, 10 days or 12 days. So the Sannibha Jwara may persist for 7, 10 or 12 days, and then it can either become complicated or handiva, it can kill the patient. And again he says another Kala Maryada, Saptami Diguna Chaiva, Navami Ekadashi Tada. So Diguna of Saptami, that is 14 days, Diguna of Navami, that is 18 days, and Diguna of Ekadashi, that is 22 days. So this fever can last up to 14, 18 or 22 days. Eshaha Tridosha Maryada. So respectively for Vada, Pitta and Kapha, Mokshaya cha Vadhaya cha. So either the patient will get rid of the fever, that is Mokshaya cha, or the fever will kill the patient, that is Vadhaya cha. And again another typical feature that has been explained by almost all acharyas are Karna Mula Shodha. Sannibhada Jwarasyande Karna Mule Sudarunaha Shodha Sanjayade Tena Kashchideva Pramuchide. So when there is a Karna Mula Shodha at the end of the Sannibhada Jwara, then only few of the patients can survive. But there are two opinions regarding this. Some commentators say that it says that if there is a Karna Mula Shodha, the patient can we can revive the patient. But usually the accepted one is whenever there is a Karna Mula Shodha, it is very difficult to treat. This may be a lymphadenopathy in the cervical what you call lymph node distributions. We are not sure what this feature is, but it may be a lymphedema. It's not lymphedema, it's lymphadenopathy in that area. So that is Sannibhada Jwarasyande Karnamule Sudarunaha Shodha Sanjayade Tena Kashchideva Pramuchyate. So that is regarding Vadaja, Pittaja, Kaphaja, Dondvaja and Sannibhada Jwara, as well as the Asadhya Lakshana of the Sannibhada Jwara. Next, let us see what is Aganduja Jwara. So Aganduja Jwara, again it's classified into 4: Abhigadaja, Abhishangaja, Abhijaraja and Abhishabaja. So Agandur, Abhigada, Abhishanga, Shaba, Abhijaradaha, Chadurthaha. Abhishangaja is again subclassified into Grahavesha, Aushadhi Gandaja, Vishaja, Krodha, Kama and Bhaya. First let us see Abhigada Jwara. Atra Kshada, Cheda, Dahadir, Abhigadaja. So physical traumas, Kshada, Cheda, Daha, etc. Physical traumas. Shramacha, excessive work or exhaustion. Tasmin Pavanaha Prayo Rektam Pradushayan. So Vada Pragopa occurs, and this Pragupita Vada causes Dushti to the Rekta. And what will be the features in the patient apart from the Jwara? So here all trauma we cannot say take it as Abhigada Jwara. A patient who had exposure to Abhigada and the patient presents with Jwara as a predominant manifestation, such patients we have to take it as Abhigada Jwara. What will be the features? Savyatha, there will be pain, Shofaha, swelling, Vaivarnyam, redness or other type of abnormal color, Sarujam, again pain, Kurude Jwara. So this is something similar to the Wheel's triple response that we have studied in the traumatic inflammations. So there is swelling, redness, temperature and pain. That is why Savyatha, Shofa, Vaivarnyam, Sarujam Kurude Jwara. So the main factors are Vada and Rekta. Next is Abhishangaja. Abhishanga, the term means contact. So whenever we come into contact with the factors like Graha, Grahavesha, Aushadhi, Visha, Krodha, Bhishoga, Kamajaha. So Abhishangaja, so whenever we comes into contact with all these factors, it can manifest as Abhishangaja Jwara. Let us see what are the features when we come into contact with each of these factors. In grahena asmin akasmat hasarodane. Without any reason, the patient will be laughing or crying. Apart from that, the patient should have the feature of jwara, otherwise that will go into the purview of unmada. Here, the patient's pratyatma lakshana should be jwara, and along with that, if there is akasmat hasa and rodana, then we have to consider it as a graha abhishangajanya jwara. So this may be a psychiatric involvement, which or it can be some sort of infective pathologies, because in those times they consider it as graha. So Bhudabhishangat Udvego Hasya Rodana Kampanam. These are the features explained by Madhava Nidana. In Aushadhi Gandhaja, there is Murcha, Shiroruk, headache, Vamadhu. So there will be loss of consciousness, there will be headache, Vamadhu, Vamana, and Kshavadhu. So whenever the patient gets exposed to Tikshna Gandhi Aushadhis, these can be the manifestation. Visha, again toxic exposures, Vishan, Murcha, Adhisara, Asya Shavada, Daha, Hridgadaha. So this usually corresponds to oral intake of poisons. So Murcha, Adhisara, Asya Shavada, Daha, Hridgadaha. In Madhavadana he says Shavasyada. So there is discoloration in the Asya. Vishakride, Adhisara Evacha, Bhaktaruji, there is Aruji, Pipasa, excessive thirst, Todascha, Saha Murchaya, there is loss of consciousness, there is Toda or pain. Next is psychological or psychogenic fevers or jwaras. Kama, Krodha and Bhaya. So Krodhat, Kambaha, Shirorukcha. So there is Kamba and Shiroruk when the fever happens due to Krodha. Then in Bhaya and Shogaja there is Pralaba. The patient will go on telling about what he has lost or what he is afraid of. That is Bhaya Shogaje Pralabo. Kamat, Brahmo, Arujir, Daho. So here Kama not only means sexual desire, Kama here means desire. So if the patient didn't get some of his desires, he can end up in depression or other manifestations leading to fever. So that is why Kamat, Brahma, Aruji, Daha, Hri, Nidra, Dhi, Dridikshaya. So there is abnormalities of what you call as higher order thinking. That is why Dhi, Dridikshaya, etc. happens. In Madhudana he says Kamaje, Chitta Vibramsha, Tandralasya, Mabojanam, Hridaye Vedana Chasya, Gatram cha Parishushidi, Bhayat Pralaba, Shogacha Bhavet, Kopacha Vebatu. Next is Abhijara. Again, Abhijara is some concept that was there in the olden times. Nowadays, we don't know whether this should be taken as one of the etiological factors. But in those times, when they couldn't identify the causative factor of fever, they assigned it as Abhijara. So, Abhijara is something like bad or black magic. Tatra Abhijarigir Mandrer Huyamanasya Tapyade Purvam Cheda Tado Deha Tado Vispoda Tridbrame. So, first the patient will have some features in the mind, psychological features, followed by there will be fever. Along with that, there will be features like Vispoda, there is eruptions over the body, Trishna and Brahma, Daha, Murcha, and Pratyaham Vardade Jwaraha. So that the fever increases day by day. So that is Abhijaraja Jwara. And in each of these Agandhaja Jwaras, specific dosha predominance have been explained. So generally in Kama, Shoga and Bhaya, it is Vada predominant. In Krodha, it is Pitta predominant. And in all other factors, it is Tridoshaja. Graha, Aushadhi, Gandha and Visha, they are Tridoshaja. So Grahado Sannipadasya, Bhayado Marudastre, Kobha Kobe Abhi Pittasya, Yautu Shabhabijarajo, Sannipada Jwaro Ghoro, Tavasakhyatamo Matu. Next, we go into other two types of classifications explained by Charaga. So these are not different jwaras, but the same jwara itself, but we have to identify where the predominant manifestation is or what is the type of manifestation based on these classifications. So in Sharirika and Manasika jwara, so all these references are now from Charaga Chikitsa 3rd chapter. So Sharirika and Manasika jwara. Shariro Jayade Purvam Dehe Manasi Manasa. So in case of Sharirika jwara, first the fever manifests in Sharira, then it affects the mind. And in case of Manasika Jwara, first it affects the mind and then the body. So that is the difference between Sharirika and Manasika Jwara. Next is Saumya and Agneya Jwara. This classification is basically depending upon the degree of temperature that happens, because there are some fevers usually that happens as mild febrile response, so that the temperature will not go above a 102 or 103. So any fevers that have high grade fevers above 104 or 105, something we call as hyperpyrexias. So there are some fevers like that. So that is the basic classification of Saumya and Agneya Jwaras. So here Acharya says that because of the Yogavahi nature of the Vada, the fever can manifest in two ways. So whenever Vada comes in association with the Kapha, then usually it will be Saumya Jwara, and when Vada comes in association with the Pitta, then there will be Agneya Jwara. So that is why Pavane Yogavahitvat Shidam Sleshma Yude Bhavet Daha Pitta Yude. So that is the explanation given by our Acharyas for the difference in the different febrile response of various fevers. So Saumya Jwara and Agneya Jwara. So Charaka says Vada Pittatmaka Shidam Ushnam Vada Kaphatmakaha Icchatyubhayametattu Jwaro Vyamishra Lakshanaha Yogavaha Param Vayu Samyogat Ubhayarthakrit Dahakrit Tejasa Yuktaha Sheetakrit Soma Samsrayat. So whenever Vada comes in contact with Pitta, then it produces too much heat, and when Vada is in association with the Kapha, it produces a Saumya Jwara. Next is Antarvega and Bahirvega Jwara. So practically, we can interpret in this way. So that whenever the fever affects the internal organs in a serious manner, it should be taken as an Antarvega Jwara, because Antarvega Jwaras are very difficult to treat. So whenever the internal organs like heart, liver or other major organs are affected, then these should be considered as an Antarvega Jwara. But usually in other mild febrile responses where there are no major anomalies of the internal organs, then there can be considered as a Bahirvega Jwara. So what are the features of Antarvega Jwara? Antardaho Adhiga Trishna Pralapa Shwasanam Brahmaha Sandhi Asti Shulam Asvedo Dosha Varcho Vinigraha Antarvega Silingani Jwarasyedani Lakshet. So the patient will have Antardaha excessively, so that the patient's internal functions are affected. There will be Trishna, Pralaba, Shwasa, that means aberrant or abnormal respiratory patterns, Brahmaha, Sandhi Asti Shulam, so pain in the Sandhi and Astis, Asveda, absent sweating, Dosha Varcho Vinigraha, so that Dosha Bhaga also doesn't happen properly, or Dosha is also not expelled properly, and Varcho Vinigraha, stool is not also expelled properly. So basically the GIT and other organs associated with the GIT are involved. So these are the lakshanas whenever there is Antarvega. So a same etiological factor can produce either an Antarvega Jwara or Bahirvega Jwara. That is why we should not interpret it as a separate fever. Something like typhoid is Antarvega Jwara. It is not like that. Even in the same febrile mechanisms, these things can happen. In case of Bahirvega Jwara, Sandabo Abhyadigo Bahyaha. So that Bahya Sandaba is more Trishnadinam cha Mardavam. So that Trishnadi features are Mrudu, Bahirvegasya Lingani. So sometimes what happens, some of the fevers can start as a Bahirvega Jwara and become Antarvega, or vice versa. Some of the fevers they can start as a Antarvega Jwara, and once the Dosha Vega shifts from the interior part to the exterior part, then it can become a Bahirvega Jwara as well. But generally, Bahirvega Jwaras are considered as easy to cure because the internal functions are not that much deranged, and Antarvega are considered to be Krichra Sadhya. And in Ashtahridaya also he says about similar features. Next is the Pragrita and Vaikrita Jwara. So we know that each dosha has its own ridus for their Pragopa and Prashama. So when one dosha causes Jwara in its own ridu, then it is called as a Pragrita Jwara. And suppose Kapha causes Jwara in Vasanta Ridu, then it is a Pragrita Kaphaja Jwara. But if this Kapha causes Jwara in a Sharat Ridu, then it is a Vaikrita Kaphaja Jwara. So that whenever a dosha produces Jwara in a Ridu other than its Pragopa Kala, then it is called as a Vaikrita Jwara. So we know Vada Jwara in Varsha Ridu, Pitta Jwara in Sharad Rudu and Kapha Jwara in Vasant Rudu can be considered as a Prakrita Jwaras. And if a Pitta Jwara happens in Varsha Rudu, then it is obviously a Vaikrita Jwara. But there is a exception here. Usually, Prakrita Jwaras are easy to treat because we can give the respective Shodhana measures in that Ridu. For example, a Kapha Jwara in Vasanta Ridu, the patient can be given Vamana because the Ridu, the treatment is indicated, and for the dosha also the same treatment is indicated. But there is an exception in case of Vada Jwara. A Vada Jwara in Varsha Ridu, usually it is considered as difficult to treat because Lankana is the predominant treatment for Jwara and Lankana is contraindicated for Vada dosha. And usually Lankana is contraindicated in Varsha Ridu also because in Varsha Ridu we know because of several factors there is Tridosha Dushti in the body and there is Alpa Bala. So with this concept in our mind, let us see what Acharyas have told about Prakrita and Vaikrita Jwara. Varsha Sharad Vasandeshu Vada Dehi Prakrita Kramat. So Vada in Varsha Ridu, Pitta in Sharad Ridu and Kapha in Vasanta Ridu can be considered as Prakrita Jwara. Vaikrito Anyaha Sadussadhyaha. So Vikrita Jwaras are Dussadhya because as I told earlier, we cannot give the respective Shodhana measures in a Ridu other than that of the respective doshas. Prayascha Prakrito Anilad. So even if the Prakrita Vada Jwara also, it is Dussadhya because Varshasu Marudo Dushtaha Pitta Sleshmanido Jwaram Kuryat Pittam Cha Sharadi Tasya Cha Anubalam Kapha Tat Pragritya Visargacha Tatra Na Anashanat Bhayam Kafo Vasande Tamabi Vada Pittam Bhavedanu. So even if this Kapha Jwara can happen in the Vasanta Ridu, then we can go for Lankana or Vamana measures. But in case if the same Jwara happens in some other Ridu, then we cannot give that particular Shodhanas. And in case of Vada Jwara, we know that Lankana, that is why here he says Na Anashanat Bhayam. So in case of Vada, Kapha and Pitta, they tolerate the Lankana in a proper way. But Vada will not tolerate Lankana properly. So that is why in case of Prakrita Anila Jwara, it is considered as Dusadhya. Next, Sadhya Sadhyata of Jwara. That means earlier we have seen the Asadhya Lakshanas of Sannibadha Jwara. These Lakshanas are attributable to every Jwaras, Sadhya and Asadhya Jwara. Balavat Solpa Dosheshu Jwaraha Sadhyo Anubhadravaha. So if a patient is Balavan and he has only Solpa Dosha and if the patient doesn't have any complication, then it is Sugha Sadhya. Hedubir Bahubir Jado Balibir Bahulakshanaha. If there are multiple etiological factors, even if the patient is Balavan but the patient has Bahulakshana, then such Jwara is very difficult to treat. Jwaraha Pranandagrityascha Shighram Indriya Nashana. If the Jwara causes deformities or abnormal functioning of the Indriyas very fast, such Jwaras are also very difficult to treat. Again, a Kala Maryada is told here, Saptahadva, Dashahadva, Dwadashahat Tadevacha. 7 days, 10 days or 12 days. As we have seen in Sannibadha Jwara, here also there is a Kala Maryada told. Sapralabha Brahma Shwasa Tikshno Hanya Jwaro Naram. If a patient has Pralabha, Brahma and Shwasa along with Jwara, so the patient, the Jwara may kill the patient in these time periods. Vadaja, Pittaja and Kaphaja respectively. Vada 7 days, Pitta 10 days and Kapha 12 days. Jwaraha Kshinasya Shunasya Gambhiro Dairgaratrigaha. In a Kshina patient, if the patient has swelling, that is Shunasya, whole body swelling, Gambhira Dhadu Gada Jwara and Dairgaratriga, so that the fever persists throughout the day, then also it is Asadhya. Kesha Simandagrit. So this is something like a Rishta Lakshana or what you call as a bad sign. So that it produces a Simanda like line in the Kesha Pradesha. So that is Kesha Simandakrit Jwara. So these are the Asadhya Lakshanas of Jwara. And also you can refer the Ashtanga Hridaya Sharira 5th chapter for the Asadhya Jwara Lakshanas. Next two classification is Sama and Nirama Jwara. We know that the Sama dosha causes Jwara and this Jwara goes through a phase of Sama, Pachyamana and Nirama Jwara phases. So every Jwara goes through these three phases. So depending upon the etiological factors and dosha predominance, the interval will be varying in each of the Jwaras. For example, Kapha Jwara will go through these phases very slowly, whereas Vadaja may have an irregular course, but Pittaja goes rapidly through these phases. So like that, there are also various modifying factors. If you give a drug, then you can speed up the Pachyamana process. So like that. Or if you do the Lankana in a patient, you can speed up the Ama Paga process. But we should be able to identify these features in the patient. So which features when present in a patient we have to consider him as having a Ama stage, which features we have to identify to label the patient as a Pachimana Jwaravastha, and which features we can identify whether the patient is in a Nirama state. Because we need these features to identify and administer medicines. For example, if you want to give some Grida formulations, you cannot give that in the Sama or Pachimana Avastha, but you can give only in the Nirama Avastha. So like that, we need these stages. So what are the features? Jorobadrava Tikshnatvam, Aglanir Bahumutrada, न प्रवृत्तिर न विज्जीर्ण न क्षुत सामज्वराग्रतिः. So there is Tikshna Ubadravas of Jwara, so that the clinical manifestations are severe in the patient. Aglani, even though there are severe features, the patient does not feel tired because this happens due to that pseudo bala that is given by the ama. So that is why Aglani. Bahu Mutra, the excessive urination. So as per modern, we can explain this as, since the sweating is reduced, body has to put out the fluid so that there is excessive passage of urine. Na pravartir na vidjirna. So there is no vid pravarti and there is no jirna vid pravarti. That means even if the patient may pass some stools, it is sama stools. Na kshut, so that there is no appetite. These are the features of sama jwara. Next, let us see what are the features of Pitta Jwara. So, a patient with Ama Jwara will have these features: severe clinical manifestations, Bahu Mutrada, and there is no Vid Pravarti or there is Ama Vid Pravarti, there is no appetite. In case of Pachyabana, when the Paga is taking place, Jwara Vego Adhigam, so that the bouts or episodes of fever will be high. Jwara Vego Adhigam. Trishna, so there is excessive Trishna. Then there is Pralabaha, irrelevant talk. Shwasanam, the breathing rate may vary. Brahmaha, there is giddiness. Malapravartihi, so there is Malapravarti. Here there is no Pravarti, here there is Malapravarti. Utkleshaha, so that there is what you call the tendency of doshas to get outside the body. Utkleshaha, Pachyamanasya Lakshanam. And in case of Nirama Jwara, Tam Aviparyayat, so that all these features when the get subsided, that is Aviparya, so, sorry, Viparyayat. Saptaratram cha Lankhanat, so that after 7 days or after the Lankhana, the patient will have Nirama Jwara. Charaka has explained in a more elaborate way. You may go and refer Charaka Chikilsa 3rd chapter for this. I will just read on through the slokas. Arujischa, Avipagascha, Gurutva Mudarasya cha, Hridayasya Avishuddhischa, Tandracha Alasya Mevacha, Joro Avisargi Balavan, Doshanam Apravartanam, Lala Prasego Hrillasa, Kshunnasho Virasam Mukham, Stabda Sutta Gurutvam cha, Gatranam Bahumutrada, Na Vidjirna, Na Chaglanir, Jwarasya Amasya Lakshanam. So he has given Ama Jwara Lakshana in a very elaborate way. So you can make a list of these features so that you can identify that properly in a given patient. Next is Pachyabana Jwara. Jwara Vego Adhigas Trishna, Pralaba Shwasanam Brahmaha, Malapravartir Utkleshaha, Pachyamanasya Lakshanam. Next is Nirama Jwara. Kshut Kshamada Leguttvamcha, Gatranam Jwara Mardavam, Dosha Pravartirashtaho, Nirama Jwara Lakshanam. And at last we have to see Jwara Mukta Lakshanas. So how can we identify that the patient is free of Jwara? When can we stop our treatment or when can we stop the medications? So that is Jwara Mukta Lakshana. Deho Lagu Vyabagada Klama Mohatapaha Pago Mukhe Karana Saushtavam Avyathatvam Svedaha Kshavah Prakriti Yogi Mano Annalipsa Kanduscha Murdini Vigada Jwara Lakshanani. So the patient will have relieved from the features of Jwara, so that there is no klama, there is no moha, there is no taba or temperature, there is mukhapaka, there is karana saushtam, so proper functioning of the indriyas, avyadattvam, so the patient doesn't have any clinical features or any pain, sweda, there is sweda pravritti, there is kshavad or kshava pravritti, prakriti yogi mano, is a normal functioning of the mind, annalipsa, desire to food intake, kanduscha murdhani, there is itching in the murdhani pradesha. So these are the lakshanas of vigada jwara lakshanas. This kanduscha murdhani is told as a prabhava by some of the commentators. So these are the features when present in a patient, we can say that the patient is free of fever. Charaka also says similar lakshanas, vigada klama sandava avyadam vimalendriyam yuktam prakriti sattvena. Prakriti sattva is normal mind functioning. Vidyat purusham ajwaram. Madhavadana also says in the similar line, Svedo legutvam chirasaha kandu pago mugasyaja kshavaduscha annalipsaja jwara muktasya lakshana. So that is regarding jwara. We have seen the pratyatma lakshana of jwara, basic factors that is leading to jwara, that is sharirika and manasika doshas, two seeds of the jwara, that is sharira and manas. Then the jwara nidana samprapti Purarupa, lakshanas of each dosha predominant jwaras, Sannibada jwara, Asadhya lakshana of Sannibada jwara, then all the two types of classifications of jwara, Sadhya Sadhya of jwara, then Sama, Pachyamana and Nirama jwaras, as well as jwara mukta lakshanas. The next topic will be jwara part 2, that deals with the concept of Vishama jwara and other few classifications of jwara. So thank you for your patient listening.